Hello, and welcome to Green Rush, the show that brings you the latest news in the emerging and growing cannabis industries. I'm your host, Darrell Edric Pugh Sr. On today's show, we'll introduce you to four movers and shakers who are making a difference. They include wounded warrior Jose Martinez, who talks about the struggles he faced with opioids during his lengthy recovery from a catastrophic injury he suffered when he stepped on an IED in Afghanistan in 2012, and how medical cannabis saved his life. We'll also introduce you to Adam Eidinger, who was a force behind making both medical and recreational cannabis legal in the District of Columbia. After Adam, you'll meet Corey Barnett of District Growers in DC. And finally, we'll talk to Morgan Fox of the Marijuana Policy Project, which was founded in January 1995 and is the largest organization in the U.S. that's focused solely on ending marijuana prohibition. First of all, thanks for your service to the country, but tell me a little bit about your story. Where were you serving and how did your accident happen?
Thank you, sir. I actually got hurt in Afghanistan. I'm in the Army. I was in the U.S. Army, and I got hurt in Afghanistan in 2012 walking around. I stepped on an IED and automatically lost my right leg and a little bit on my left and my right arm as well. So spent about a year and a half in the hospital just recovering, and it took a long time, but it's gotten better. A lot of people ask me if you're mad at anybody or if you hate the military. No, in all honesty, it saved my life. It gave me morals, and it gave me a sense of what I need to do on a daily basis. As long as I maintain myself, everything else is okay. You know, as long as I'm respectful to the rest of the world should respect me.
Say some of your other brothers are suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome and they're committing suicide in record numbers. What do you think is attributing to that phenomenon?
That's actually due to, I think a lot of it has to do with the actual pills that they give us, to be honest with you. The VA prescribes us all with pharmaceutical pills, and a lot of people don't understand that they have a lot of problems to it. I mean, it gives you a solution, but it gives you 50 other problems to it as well. So it's something that doesn't just give you an answer to or cope you, make you feel good with this pain. It has all these other problems after a backlash. So there's an epidemic of 22 veterans committing suicide a day, and to be honest with you, it's actually a little bit higher than that because only 21 states gave out that statistic, and we don't know about the rest of them, and those were California and Texas were included in the ones that didn't give anything. So I personally, since I've been injured, I've had about 8 of my friends actually commit suicide. So wow. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart, and we're out here fighting for them. We want to show them that it's not an answer towards a lot of things that are going on in their life. But if they're on pharmaceutical pills just like we were, I was on a lot of pharmaceutical pills after my accident, and I was on the verge of actually tried committing suicide about 3 times. And it took a lot of me. It took a big toll on me. And once I found cannabis, I found a lot of relief. I felt free, and the world changed for me. And like I said, it's not an answer, but I want to show other vets that if they're having a lot of problems with that, this might be another guide for them to be able to be successful in life all over again.
What would you like to say to lawmakers who are dragging their heels on making marijuana legal at the federal level?
You're stopping me and all of the actual kids that need this for medicine to be free and live.
So when are you going to run for Congress?
I got 10 years.
Tell us who you are and who you're with.
Sure, my name is Adam Eidinger, and I'm the co-founder of DCMJ, and I work for Dr. Bronner's Magic Soaps. Dr. Bronner's Magic Soaps, we're one of the oldest soap companies in the United States who making organic and natural soaps. Well, I'm a community activist here in Washington, D.C. now for about 20 years, and I was the proposer of Initiative 71 that legalized marijuana in the District of Columbia. I'm a man who just figured out that we got to put it on the ballot in 2014, and I had a guess that we could pass it and that we could get it past Congress, and I was right.
So what's the biggest challenge now in passing the law at the federal level?
Wow. Well, the biggest challenge is we got to get some more votes in the House of Representatives and the Senate. I mean, we don't have enough senators and representatives that support legalization. The majority is still against us. But the real solution, I think, is a federal executive order from the president and to deschedule cannabis, to completely take it out of Schedule 1. It doesn't belong there. It doesn't belong in the Controlled Substances Act at all. It's an herb, not a drug. We've had a movement growing in this country for many years. We've had 5 million marijuana arrests since Barack Obama became president, and we want the laws to change finally. We don't want people to go to jail anymore. We want it to be legal. It's an herb. It's a natural plant you grow, you dry it, and you use it. A drug is something you mix up. It's a concoction, and that concoction it needs to be approved by the FDA. But a plant that God gave us, it's been here forever. It's been in our systems forever. It's been in our DNA forever. It should be legal.
Where do you see yourself continuing in this fight, and how do you see yourself facilitating change in the near future?
We're talking about doing a referendum in 2018 to overturn the social ban on use. I'm working to work with dispensary owners in the city that want to be able to sell to adults 21 and older without a doctor's recommendation. We're working for that. We're meeting with the White House this Monday, 2 days from now. I'm having a meeting with the Office of National Drug Control Policy. I think more protests. I think May 20th, which is 5/20, we'll probably have a protest at the White House again. Another smoke-in saying that President Obama is late on rescheduling cannabis. If only the national leadership in our movement was willing to mobilize people and bring them to the White House in the numbers of 10,000 people and spend the whole weekend there smoking, we might just get the country's attention. We might just turn this issue finally, because I think really everybody's for it. People inside the White House are for it, but they're hamstrung by Congress, and we're going to have to change this Congress, I think. If they don't do it, we're going to have to vote them out.
So how can people get involved with what you're doing and help your cause?
Come to our meetings. We meet every 2 weeks at public libraries in DC. We rotate the libraries from each ward, so the meetings always change. You got to look it up, but you'll get to know the public libraries pretty well. People are really fired up about this issue because it's a civil rights issue. It's like, it's about personal freedom. It's about, business opportunities for a lot of people. People are looking to get on the ground floor of a new industry. This is it. And when this becomes really legal, there's going to be a lot more opportunity. We need the government to get out of the way of marijuana research. We need to also remember this is a plant. It shouldn't be patented. A strain could be patented, but not the plant itself. People should have the right to grow this plant in their home. We have that right now in Washington, D.C. We're going to defend that right. We think people in all 50 states should have that right. DCMJ is a community group. We don't even have a bank account. Okay, so DCMJ works as a community organization that does stuff. So get involved. Come to our meetings. Come to our events. Join our listserv, dcmj.org. Support Dr. Bronner's. Dr. Bronner's supports DCMJ.
My name is Corey Barnett. I own District Growers. We are one of the licensed cultivators here in Washington, D.C. So we grow flowers, we make concentrates, we produce juices, we produce edibles, we produce butters, and a whole line of different products that we supply to the medical marijuana dispensaries here in Washington, D.C.
So only medical at this point?
It's only medical that we can do here in Washington, D.C. At this point in terms of a licensed sale or what have you. But we are actively working with the city to try to find ways to open the medical marijuana program up for more patients that need it. And we're actually also helping the city sort of think through some of the hurdles to taxing and regulating as an adult use market. And we're hoping that the city takes that on and actually does that.
What's the biggest challenge you're facing in making that happen right now?
Right now, it is, to be honest with you, the legislators in the city. I mean, there is a method for taxing and regulating cannabis. The mayor is able to actually utilize the contingency reserve to give the council the freedom to actually act. We believe that the Attorney General's office would be supportive of such measure, and he's actually said so in public forums. He believes that that is the proper method to have to deal with this, particularly before it becomes a public safety issue. We are just now getting research that is truly being done on the plant. We're finding amazing uses for the plant, and it's really serving to sort of change certain people's lives. And when you look at kids with autism, or when you look at people with seizures, or you look at people that are dealing with just sort of daily pains and migraines and different things, the relief that they're getting from not having to use such other toxic drugs is amazing. And in the industry right now, it's also a booming time because we're seeing so much entrepreneurship come in, so many jobs being created, so much impact in and around a market that sort of engages in a good cannabis regulatory policy. It's just an exciting time to be here. I mean, look at this festival, man. You have, what we think is close to a little bit like almost 6,000 people that, have either bought a ticket or have walked up. And it's just an amazing atmosphere to be in. I mean, great entertainment. And look, you have over 40 different booths where entrepreneurs that have actively gotten into the field and are promoting their products, their services, their devices and different things like that. We just had an entrepreneurship panel where we had some great DC entrepreneurs come out and put together, pitch their business plans in a Shark Tank sort of issue, and we were able to give away some raw cash. And so it's a good thing.
What sets you guys apart from just other growers in the industry?
District Growers is very unique. I mean, and we believe that the market is starting to see that. I mean, we've recently been recognized as one of the top 100 cannabis companies of any type, device, dispensary, or cultivation center. And that was by Cannabis Business Executive magazine. But what we think we do that sort of sets us apart is, we don't use a lot of harmful synthetics that a lot of our competitors use. And by harmful, I mean just harmful to the concept of just cultivating in general. We try to grow a product in its natural sort of form in the best way that nature possibly can. And so we step in an indoor setting, utilizing sometimes the sun because, if we're in a greenhouse or something of that nature, and we're able to actually give the plant its best genetic potential. From there, we really put a lot of thought into the types of products that we develop. District Growers is only going to stand in industry segments where we believe that we can create products that will last for 50 years. And these need to be products that people can depend on, people can see as being consistent, get the same effect and impact each and every time. And so we really put a lot of thought into where we go as a company. DistrictGrowers.com is our website, and you can look us up there. We also have a Facebook page. We also Twitter. We're also on LinkedIn. You can also look me up there.
But if somebody's trying to buy some weed, they should not contact you, right?
No, they should not contact me. That is not what we do, brother. Not out the back door or anything like that. You'd be surprised what people ask.
My name is Morgan Fox. I'm the Senior Communications Manager for the Marijuana Policy Project. We're the nation's largest marijuana policy reform nonprofit, primarily focused on state and federal lobbying to end marijuana prohibition. Well, we've been responsible for the vast majority of medical marijuana laws that have passed since 2001. We were formed in 1995 when medical marijuana first started becoming an actual issue, and since then we've been involved in state-level activity across the nation. Most notably, we were the primary funders for the Colorado campaign to legalize marijuana, as well as in Alaska in 2014. And in 2016, we're involved in state-level campaigns to make marijuana legal and regulated like alcohol for adults in Arizona, Maine, Massachusetts, Nevada, and we're also supporting the effort in California, and we are involved in a medical marijuana bill, or initiative rather, in Ohio. Unfortunately, there are still quite a few people that make their money off of marijuana prohibition, particularly law enforcement, treatment program systems that are funneled through court systems. This is an issue that is going to continue to prop up as these people lose money by marijuana policies changing. Not only that, but we have the asset forfeiture issue, where most law enforcement organizations around the country make a lot of money by basically taking people's assets if they're even suspected of possessing marijuana or being involved in drug trafficking whatsoever. And, we're starting to finally change those policies. But primarily the biggest problem is that marijuana is objectively safer than alcohol, and there's absolutely no reason to treat responsible adults who are otherwise law-abiding as criminals for using a substance that's safer than alcohol. For instance, in Arizona, where we're trying to make marijuana legal and regulated like alcohol, it's the only state in the country where it's still a felony to possess any amount of marijuana. So that's 13,000 people a year that are getting felony arrest records and then cannot get student loans, are going to have trouble finding housing and employment, and maybe not even be able to vote. The disenfranchisement that comes with drug charges is just staggering. Well, I think that as soon as you get a certain number of states that have made marijuana legal, the federal government is going to have to address this issue. And when you look at the polling, Americans widely support ending marijuana prohibition. The only question is exactly how they're going to do it. And the best way to do that is to remove the federal government completely from the issue and deschedule marijuana, take it out of the Controlled Substances Act, and allow individual states to determine the best marijuana policies for them. or we're at mpp.org, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. The best thing you can possibly do is contact your lawmakers. You can do that through our website. Tell them that marijuana needs to be a legal, regulated product, similarly to alcohol, and that people who have the medical need for it should have access to it.
I hope you've enjoyed watching Green Rush and that you've learned a lot. On the next episode, we'll go in depth about the current medical and recreational cannabis laws and what they mean to you, the consumer. Until then, stay fired up about protecting your rights to choose what's right for you. I'm Darrell Ledrick Pugh Sr. for GreenRushTV.com.